Alright, I thought it'd be fun to kind of video capture this rebuild of the stick I'm doing today. This is how it started. This is what it looked like before. I got this new Noir layout, button layout from Arcade Shock back in August, but since I've had that Noir layout, I have not had any custom artwork on the stick. This is just how I've been playing it since August. So what I lost was the disassembly, so you don't get to see me tear the stick apart because that got corrupted. So I did make a placeholder to show you some of the new tools that I'm going to use. I'm going to stitch that in here at the beginning, but this is a good picture of how the stick started, so you can kind of see it before and after when we get finished. The main thing I wanted to show during the disassembly were these new tools that I got from Focus Attack. These here help with the snap type buttons. I got the 24 size and the 30. I only ended up using the 30 for this stick, but since the shipping at Focus Attack is like $5–6, and these are about $5 or $6 a piece, I wanted to get everything at once. So I got these two for the 24 and 30 snap type buttons, and I got these two of the screw type wrenches. And these are specifically sized for Gamerfinger buttons, since that's what I used. I only have the 30s right now. 24 if I do hitbox later, and they make these for every different manufacturer of screw type buttons. They're sized specifically for it, and they come in different colors to signify which screw type it's for. So, but the way these snap type tools work is that you just slide this collar. It depresses the tabs on the sides of the button, and then this plunger pops out the button. And if you've worked with push type buttons before, without a tool, you've probably broken a lot of little tabs, as I have. So, so this is my old plexi, my old panel. Since the stick's already done, and you'll see me use the screw type wrench to put it back together, but you miss how handy these tools are. So here's a snap type button, and the way you just slide this collar on, and that motion right there is what's depressed the tabs for you already, and then this plunger pushes it out. So you slide that on, and then this plunger just pops it right out. So real easy, so you don't break those tabs off, which is a very common problem. So I mean, it's a common problem for me. I've had that happen a lot. So again, it really is that simple. You just put this collar on that depresses the buttons. You know, without the plunger, you know, if you were working on your stick, you wouldn't be able to grasp it, to pull it. So you just push it with this plunger from the other side, and you got your snap type button out. And then this other tool is maybe less obvious, but when it's deep in your stick and you've got, you know, your wire harnesses and your PCB boards and all that, it's hard to reach in there and physically unscrew these. It's doable, but it's kind of a pain. And so this tool makes it a lot easier, because you're able to, it's perfectly sized to that ring, and it just lets you unscrew it real easy. So there the ring comes off right inside the wrench, and then push type are just so much easier to work with anyway, because nothing to break off. So that's the main thing that was in the disassembly video that I was disappointed when I saw that it was corrupted, that I wanted to make sure you saw. But these are both from Focus Attack. The snap in button, snap in tool for the push buttons, and then they call these wrenches for the screw type buttons, wrenches. So they saved me a lot of time on this rebuild, and worth every penny. I think the whole, for all four of these, was like $25, all said and done, somewhere around there. And then if you're on the FA Awards program, you get points for like sharing on Twitter and prior purchases and things like that. So sometimes you can get your shipping taken care of for you. try it side up. I need the mirror image. So I've got to flip it. Cut those out. We'll have the shiny blue side. My wife has more experience using this Friscar's Perfect Circles tool, so she volunteered to cut the circles out for me, and I went back to working on the buttons while she did that. Alright, so these are being cut out right now, the larger piece that we already cut. I want to show you how I, see these are as large as the buttons when they get cut out, and these have art caps on them. So there's the blue micro switch on the inside, and then this is two pieces. So your piece of art can go between here. And it's obviously smaller. Like if you look at this piece of art that I had in there, much smaller than the hole itself. So in order to get those pieces to go in, what I'm going to do is, normally I trace around the cap to get the size, but I could also just trace that since I've already done it once. So I just put this here for reference so you could see why they're too big. Okay. Now this pen didn't leave a very good mark. And for this part, I'm just going to use scissors. Let's see if it works. Alright, I can kind of see why they go smaller. That's because it pinches around the edges a bit. So on the next one, I might just trace the small part. There we go. This is all cut out for the stick, and I just have one button left to do here. Just pop the art cap off. Buttons are all good. Snap type goes into that hole there. So if I want to arrange those in order, there we go. Put that back on the other artwork. Okay. Yeah. Again, the plexi itself came from Arcade Shock. The Gamerfinger buttons from Focus Attack, and I bought these new tools from Focus Attack also. The Arcade Shock does do artwork, but what they do is they wrap the entire plexi instead of putting something underneath of it, and I like to change my art from time to time. So that's why I opted not to do their service. It's pretty well. Fingerprints off. And because I hadn't done my art yet, I haven't taken the film off because I knew this would be coming eventually. A little bit difficult to see. All my fingerprints off of there because I've been playing on top of the plastic. See a little bit of a mark. It's just like a lens cloth that I'm using. If it's on the top side, it's no big deal. I can clean that later. Yeah, it looks like it is on the top side. If I can. Now for our buttons, do the snap type first. Alright, what I'm going to do, the snap type button has these tabs that have to go in an exact certain way. So just to make sure room, the screw type I'm not as worried about. But the snap type has to here. So I'm just going to get an X-Acto knife and I'm going to trim out the those tabs. Alright, what I did was I just took the X-Acto knife and scored it each of those little flaps to make sure that they aren't going to provide any additional resistance to the snap in button. Now I think we can go ahead and put it in. Here. This is the tricky one. And I want to look at the other side just to see how the tabs are supposed to line up. I want to go with the tabs. I felt like it went in there. I was just kind of pulling it from the back side until I heard it click. Then, see, the tab's extended now, so I just took a little bit more effort than I thought. So I must not have trimmed quite enough. So now we can do the screw type buttons. These are easier. They just kind of go in. I'll do it to the side just to put them all in the same way. One of these I had to do without the tool. It may take a little bit more to do it. Right now I can't remember which one that was. Screw type are so much easier to work with. Don't have to worry about those tabs snapping off. Easier to align. If you have artwork. Pretty cool. Yeah, just got to be careful when I turn these over so that I can screw them in. Yeah, it was this one that needed to be done manually. Okay. That one's in. The other ones, I'll use this one. There we go. It's just have to line up, that's all. And I'm holding them on the other side just so that the art doesn't spin. It's trying to spin. Looks good. Go. One more, I think. There they are. Okay. Now, wire it back up, and we'll be done. This I'm not using currently. This is for the magenta. I said that already. Just kind of tuck it in here. So I may swap that back in now that I'm just doing casuals. Kind of wrap it around. Actually, that's true. I do have all this apart. All right, I'll put the magenta in right now. Bonus content. Wasn't thinking about doing this today, but might as well. With this wire harness that I custom made, what it does is it provides power for the magenta. It feeds an LED up to the top so that when I press the mode switch, I can tell what mode it's in, because the magenta can store 4 different modes. And so that's what this custom wiring is for. That's just the normal JLF. These are the new things here. This one's for the switch and LED. And this one is just for 5 volts power. I was mirror the other way, but I guess I'm the one that has to see it, right? Anyway, all right, go back to the magenta for now. All right, that'll do it. Oh. My custom won't do much without the USB cord. So this is my custom USB cord. Just because I needed it longer. Than what came with it. And just attach this so that it can't pull itself out. I think I found those like in a plumbing section. It's just forgetting what that's called. But it goes onto the cord and you can tighten it. I think it's I forget what it's called now. I used to know. I know it's a like a plumbing watertight thing. Just makeshift. Way to keep it in there is all that is. Forgot something very important. I forgot the ball top, and you can't screw a ball top on without preventing it from spinning on this end. Instead of a screwdriver on the magenta, you need a little Allen wrench, which I've got in here somewhere. Here it is. Those are just other spring options for the magenta, but I've just kept the stock. I think it's a 2-pound spring on there. Yeah, because there's the 3-pound and this is the 1 pound, so I think that's right in the middle. And just holding underneath so that it does not spin. So that the shaft does not spin as I'm screwing on the ball top. Oh. Grab the dust cover. Dust cover. Right, now I can button it back up. Alright, there we are. I've got the blue metallic underneath. Looks good. Alright, I think that does it.